Are you looking to grow revenues, increase profitability, or obtain financing? If so, you came to the right place.
Running a business is all about leadership. How do you become a better leader? Learn from the successful entrepreneurs and business owners how to lead your organization more effectively. That's why we created Leadership Live at 8:05, Talking Small Business, to help you succeed with your host, Andrew Frazier, Business Growth Pro and CFO and founder of the Small Business Pro University. Every Tuesday evening at 8 p.m. Eastern, we're joined by experienced entrepreneurs and business owners who share their secrets to success via live stream. Also, every Friday morning, we release a new podcast episode. Either way, you will learn about developing your business leadership skills from our roster of highly performing guest experts. Leadership Live is one of the many valuable resources provided through the Small Business Pro University, empowering business owners to learn, profit, and grow. Find out more at sbpro.u.com.
Good evening. Welcome back to Leadership Live at 8:05. I'm your host, Andrew Frazier, and excited to hang out with you once again on Tuesday evening. As you know, being a business owner is one of the most challenging roles that you can have because there's so many things you need to know that it's really not possible to know them all. As a result, your business can only go as far as you're prepared to take it. So what this show is all about is helping you to become a better leader. Two key things. One, just building your leadership knowledge and skills. That's why we bring guest experts who have done what you're trying to do, built successful businesses. As well, the other side is not only do you need to develop your leadership skills, but you have to increase your knowledge of business. And that's the other thing we do here on the show. So our goal here is to help you become a better leader so you can move your business further, faster. So always appreciate everybody tuning in. Definitely check in. Let me know where you're here from. Many times we have people from all over the world. So, if you can, definitely type in the chat. Let us know where you're joining us from. Also, it would be great, always appreciate your comments and your questions. And if you're not subscribed to our channel, definitely invite you to do that. So tonight, we're very fortunate to have a great guest here tonight. His name's Guy Dunn. And hey, good evening, Darren. How you doing? Welcome. And we're going to talk about contacts plus opportunity equals success, and really networking for business. At the end of the day, we had always talk about is that your most important job is sales and marketing. And one of the keys is, you have to generate generally 7 to 12 touches before someone's going to buy from you. And networking, talking to someone in person is a really powerful touch if you do it right. So that's what we're going to talk to Guy about today, really how to do it right in terms of networking, building relationships that can help grow your business. So hopefully you guys are ready to go. And let me invite Guy on now. Hey, Guy, how you doing tonight?
I'm great. What's up, Andrew? How you doing, man?
I'm excellent. Thanks for joining me.
Anytime Andrew calls, I'm here, bro.
Excellent. So before we get started, we've known each other for many years, but the audience doesn't know you at all. So if you could take a few minutes to walk us through your journey, how you got to where you are now.
Sounds good. Well, as you know, Andrew, I've been a lifelong entrepreneur. Grew up in a family business in Plainfield, New Jersey, and from a young age, I knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur. Basically, when I was 17, I said, in my father's business, seeing my father run his business, it was just like a natural thing for me to just say, I'm going to be an entrepreneur. I was very focused on that. Um, uh, Went to Morehouse and got my degree in accounting because I said the entrepreneur needs an accounting degree so he can count his money. And that was like, it was just apparent to me. I worked with my dad for a couple of years in the family business after I graduated from college. Then I started my own company in Philadelphia with some friends of his. Actually, we did the same business that I grew up in, commercial cleaning. Did that for a number of years, and I sold my shares of that to my partner. Got out, did management consulting. I bought a small company back in the mid 90s, and then sold that and did a number of other things. I worked as a CFO for a market research company. I worked as a director of business development for a systems engineering company. But for the most part, I've only worked for other people for about 6 years of my adult life. Either I was the owner of a company, a principal in a company, or a management consultant for most of that time. Back in 2006, I bought an IT franchise called Geeks on Call, and I actually was the third largest franchise owner in their system. I had territories in New York City and in Philadelphia, did very well with that. And then I actually still have IT clients I take care of. I also do digital marketing, but most recently, I started to create software platforms using AI, and I created a platform for networking, which that's what we're talking about, and also created a platform for the roofing industry. But the bottom line is I have always wanted to be an entrepreneur, and I've been blessed to be able to be an entrepreneur pretty much all of my life, which is an amazing thing for me because at 65, I was like, how did this happen? And how did my life go by so fast? But I'm here still doing what I do and loving what I do, which is just creating creating business from the ideas that come out of my head and say, let's do it. I am not I'm one who's not too what's the word I want to use? I'm not afraid to jump out and try things. And I've been blessed to be able to succeed and fail and learn from my failures and still be on top.
Excellent, excellent. Well, that's what entrepreneurship is all about. You're constantly learning. I don't know about you, but I've worked for other people. I've worked for myself many years, and I probably learned 10 times as much in a year working as an entrepreneur as I did working for anybody else.
Oh, heck yeah.
So, sometimes you learn it the hard way. You learn lessons, but, definitely as an entrepreneur, that's part of the journey. So excellent. So I'm excited about having you on tonight. Can't wait to dig into the topic because it's such an important topic for many people. But before we do that, I want to take a minute to just make sure everybody knows this live stream is an initiative of the Small Business Pro University. One of our initiatives to help entrepreneurs and business owners become more successful. And just want to show a short video so everybody knows what the Small Business Pro University is. And then we'll be back talking small business with Guy Dunn. Many small businesses experience low or no revenue growth, and the owners are not making enough money. I founded Small Business Pro University to help you break that cycle by empowering you with greater knowledge and enhanced skills to lead your organization more effectively. Over the past 15 years, I've collaborated with organizations like the Small Business Development Center, Rising Tide Capital, Empower the Village, NJMEP, Rutgers University, and SCORE to work one-on-one with over 1,000 business owners and teach tens of thousands of people about business. My experience includes serving as a naval officer, managing businesses, graduating from MIT, earning an MBA from NYU, and achieving the CFA designation, which has prepared me to accomplish my mission of helping 1,000,008 business owners to sell more, maximize profit, and finance growth by 2028. My vision is to create the ultimate business ecosystem for entrepreneurs. Small Business Pro University empowers entrepreneurs like you to run their businesses more professionally and create sustainable enterprises. We employ my proven proprietary Masterpreneur Playbook framework to guide your journey along the Masterpreneur path and facilitate your Masterpreneur evolution to work on your business and scale faster and easier. Small Business Pro University provides access to valuable resources, partnerships, and relationships that will help you to sell more, maximize profit, and finance growth. Our Masterpreneur initiatives include the Small Business Pro Network, 100+ expert-led multimedia courses, intensive training workshops, Spanish language training, Leadership Live at 8:05 live stream and podcast, in-person Power Breakfast events, and advisory coaching, consulting, and training services. Okay, welcome back. I'm here with Guy Dunn talking small business. So, Guy, you talked about starting out working in the family business, and it wasn't just a family business. Your father's pretty legendary in his circles because he really built a great business.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Tell us a little bit about his business and your experience working in the business.
Well, my father started Dunn and Sons Maintenance Company back in 1972. He was a hardworking man. When he was younger, he worked in the garment district up in New York and worked in multiple jobs, but he realized that he wasn't going to get ahead unless he really did something for himself. So he started a company and learned through his relationships that there are ways for him to grow it pretty quickly. He had friends that helped him along the way in the SBA. He was networking with some of those friends, and they helped him become an 8A certified company. And through that, he was able to take. Back then, the 8A program was very well. It had a lot of opportunities for small businesses and minority businesses if you knew the right people and if you knew how to really manage the system. And the truth was, him, my brother, my uncle, and my aunts, they all worked in family business. And the reason my father really started a business to make sure that his children and his nieces and nephews could go to college. And most of us did. Because of that, almost everybody in the family at one time or another worked in the family business, and it got to be very big. At the high side, he was doing over $10 million a year in business, doing contracts like the Port Authority Bus Terminal, LaGuardia Airport, Ellsworth Air Force Base in South Dakota. We even had a contract in Antigua where we had a summer home because of the contract.
Excellent. So no, it's very impressive. Definitely heard about your father, heard from many people about your father and what he did. So, it's great that you had a chance to work with him along with your brother, who is actually in the audience today. What's up, Jeff? How you doing? And just want to give a quick shout out. We got a lot of great people tuned in. Hey, Joel, what's up? We got John from Florida. We got Steven from New Jersey. We got Karen from my hometown, Pittsburgh, in the house. So I'm definitely excited about that.
People all over.
Yeah. So, and we've got, it's great. That's one thing I love about the live. You can connect with people all over. So now, Guy, you mentioned you went to school and studied accounting because you felt that would be good for business.
Yep.
First of all, you know, why did you feel it would be good for business? Second, did it actually pan out? And do you feel like it was really good for business? And what about it really made a difference for you in your business?
Okay. So um, accounting, I thought, especially when I was younger. Actually, I was the assistant controller for my father's company. My brother was the controller. I was the assistant controller. Um, and after I graduated from college. Before then, though, I did work in an administrative role. But understand, we were in a commercial cleaning business. I did start cleaning toilets like everybody else. So you always started at the bottom. I did a lot. I worked in a lot of the facilities. I even worked at Harlem State Office Building. I worked at Western Electric. I mean, I did a lot of those jobs in and around cleaning. But eventually we got into the office and I took advantage of um, the knowledge that I gained. I was good with math, so I had no problem with accounting. And like I said, at one time I was a CFO of a market research firm. I do have a strong understanding of numbers, and I was good with doing spreadsheets and bid sheets and things like that. So it definitely worked out and helped me in my business operations to know that accounting. It's a tool, um, and being able to use those tools, especially tools in your brain, makes a big difference.
Excellent, excellent. So no, definitely, definitely. Um, one of the things is many business owners, that's an area where they need improvement in
Oh
terms of
yeah.
understanding, accounting and finance and bookkeeping and basic things in that area. I kind of, I do fractional CFO for some companies, and I sort of consider myself a finance evangelist. Uh,
Okay.
so what would you say to a business owner that doesn't know anything about accounting, financing, or bookkeeping? What would you tell them?
I would tell them learn your numbers. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, you don't have to be you don't have to be at an accountant level uh to have accountant level knowledge for you to be able to run your business, but you need to know the basics. You need to know your balance sheet. You need to know your profit and loss. You need to be able to manage and understand your cash flow, because if you don't do those things, if you don't have the ability to have measurable systems in place, so at least you can keep track of it. So when you turn things over to your accountant or you have an in-house accountant, you know what they're doing and you can understand what the outcomes are. Um, it's just making sure that you understand what you need to do to make sure your business runs efficiently.
Excellent. So I couldn't have said it better myself. So, Guy, let's take a look at the topic. Contacts plus opportunity equals success, and really, we're talking about networking for business so
Hmm.
that you can have greater success. But before I, really delve into a topic, I usually like to have the guest define what it is, because everybody's definition of network isn't always the same. So how
That's
would
fair.
you define what networking means based on our conversation, what our conversation is going to be tonight?
No problem. Well, as you know, Andrew, back in 2012, I wrote the book Networking for Business. And I wrote it for a specific reason. One, I so when in 2006 I bought my IT franchise, Geeks on Call, in an area where I knew nobody. It was in Chester County, PA. I didn't know anybody out there, and I bought three territories off a gentleman who was sick. He shut it down, and although he still had the business, he wasn't doing anything with it. So I bought the franchise from him, and I didn't know anybody. So I said, "Well, how am I going to start generating business out here?" I said, well, I know one thing I do know how to do. I knew how to talk to people. I know how to connect with people. So I actually joined five different chamber of commerces, and I would go from 5 to 10 networking events every week. so I can get to know people in that area. I would go morning breakfasts, I would go afternoon lunches, I would go for business openings, I would go to evening networking events. Any event that was there, believe me, I was there. It got to the point where people would see me all the time. It's like, guy, how come you're everywhere? And it's because I knew that the only way for to get people to start doing business with me is they got to know me. Um, and I would make sure that I spent the time not only going to the events, but learning the relationships that make sense. So, to answer your question, to me, networking is making sure that you develop those relationships which will provide opportunities for you to do business with people. And that's what I did.
Okay, excellent. And I'm glad you mentioned chambers of commerce because those can be so valuable in meeting and connecting with the right people.
Right.
And
But you have to know how to work them too. That's the other thing. A lot of people join a chamber and they're like, so what do I do now? I joined, but you have to be able to go to events. You have to. I tell people now. I actually was on the board of the Westchester Chamber in Chester County,
okay,
and I tell people when you want to take advantage of a chamber of commerce, don't just sign up and be a member. Find a committee, be an ambassador, be the people who greets the people at the door. Find a way so you can ingrain yourself in those chambers so you can build relationships with the people and make it so you have an opportunity to talk to as many of the members as possible because you have a position that allows you to do that.
okay, definitely. And starting out, it is so important to connect with people face to face and early and often. I was a member of one chamber for almost a year and a half. I didn't really get any business out of it,
Hmm.
but I went to the events, met people. But about the year and a half time frame, people are like, "Oh, who are you again? What do you do?" Because sometimes people have to see you around enough. There's a lot of business people who show up and then are no longer in business or whatever. Um, so it may not happen overnight, but you're building the platform for your future success.
For sure.
So, um, so now when you network through chambers, what did you do to prepare for a networking session? What was your goal while you were there? And um and then let's start with that.
What's the
What did
plan?
you
What's the
yeah,
plan? All
yeah.
right. So my plan for networking, a lot of people go to a networking event and they're out either collecting cards or passing out cards and just trying to get to meet as many people as possible. I say that's not the smartest way to do it. I think what there's a couple of things you can do. One, try to identify a few people that you may know will be at the event. You might even want to check with the chamber. Say, do you know if anybody specifically who's going to be there? So you can do your research and find out if they're going to be able to have um, they have some value to what you're trying to do or sell in your network. So that's one thing. The other thing is making sure that you make yourself present. A lot of people will start handing out a business card and say, "Okay, thank you," and try to go to see as many people as possible, meet as many people. That's not good. I think if you say, "My goal at this event is to find 3 to 5 people I can connect with, establish some rapport, and then follow up with," and just do that every time you go to an event. If you're going to 2 to 3 events a month, then now you're talking about 5 times 3 is 15 times 10 months is 150 people in a year. You might be able to start really building up good relationships. That's the kind of thing that you need to kind of focus on. Valuable conversations with people who can help you and you can help them. Another thing that I do at a networking event is I try to find an opportunity to help somebody or do something for them first because of the law of reciprocity. I always say, find a way to help somebody. I mean, I usually would go up and say, "My name is Guy Dunn. This is the business that I do." And what I try to do is say, how can I help you in your business, and what are you looking for people to do for you, and try to establish a way that I can give to them as quickly as possible. Because once I give them something, the law of reciprocity says that subconsciously they're going to say, "Oh man, I got to do something for Guy because he did something for me." That's the kind of thing that I try to do when I make connections at networking events.
Okay, excellent. So maybe not even I have to do something for Guy, but I want to do something for
Exactly, it's unconscious.
yeah, and um, they may not be able to, but it helps for that. So, I mean, one of the key things you mentioned was depth versus breadth, um, connecting with less people rather than more, but having a more in depth conversation.
For
You
sure.
know, we're talking about relationships, so it's not like, "Hi, I'm so and so. Oh, great, you're so and so. Great. I'll catch you later." Then you don't know the person. You probably won't
Right.
remember them. They probably won't remember you.
Right. You have to build up relationship capital.
Definitely, definitely. So that I like you. I usually like to go talk to even if I have just one great conversation, that's 5 to 10 minutes long. Then we'll always remember each other.
Oh, for sure.
You know, and that's what a real relationship starts with. Um, so that's key. So of course, before you go, while you're there. So while you're there, what should you do? People always talk about elevator pitches. Does that make sense? What should it be like? So while you're there, you know, what are some best practices about successfully navigating a networking event?
Okay. So elevator pitch obviously makes sense. You want to be able to articulate what you do in as short a period of time as possible because people have short attention spans. So you should be able to articulate who you are, what you do, and how you can help them. That's a priority for me. But also, you want to be present in the conversation. You don't want to go to a networking event and start looking around and you're talking to somebody, but you're still searching other people to say, "Oh, I want to talk to this guy and I want to talk to that person." No, when you're in a conversation with somebody, be present, look them in their eye, talk to them directly, be be interested, and not just act interested, but be interested in what they are and what they do, so you can go back to that conversation. A lot of people, and I've done this before, where sometimes I'll take somebody's business card and I say, "Hold on, do me a favor, say that again," and I'll make notes on the back of their business card. Back then I used to do that. Now there's other ways to do it. um, but yeah, I would make notes on their card, so when I do call them back, I remember the conversation we had and I will refer that back when I contact them immediately thereafter. That's one of the things that's important at networking events: the follow up and the speed of the follow up. Um, to me, the rule of thumb should be if you go to an event and you meet somebody, you should be contacting them at the very most 48 hours after you met them with a acknowledgement of the conversation of the meeting, and say, "We met at this event last night or the day before. I enjoyed our conversation." And if you can reference something that you spoke about in that conversation, that's huge because that shows that you paid attention. And then once you do that, now again, you're building that trust, you're building that rapport, and every opportunity you do that gets you more and more ingrained with the person. So the relationship has the opportunity to build.
All right. Well, you skipped ahead because I was going to ask you what do you do after the networking. so, but I'm going to say that when I was in business school, and actually in business school, I kind of spent 2 years looking for a job,
Hmm.
and went to every firm on Wall Street and everything else, but learned a lot. And one of the gentlemen that I did some networking with, he was like, you're always going to be successful because you follow up.
Hmm.
You know, definitely follow up is important. But how important is it really?
Oh, I mean, that's the whole thing. The reality is you're only going to be remembered for a certain period of time. If you don't follow up, people will definitely forget you. That's the bottom line. It doesn't take much, especially if you're going to events on a regular basis. People are going to events on a regular basis. They they might have met 10 people at a night. So if they met 10 people, you were one on one, and five of those people followed up, and you're one of the ones who didn't follow up, you're forgotten. You are like a, 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 a non-event in the event. You know what I mean? That's the key. The key is spending the time and taking the time to do those important things to follow up, because you are looking at an opportunity. You don't know what that opportunity can be. You don't know what that person, whether he can offer you a job, whether he has a connection, whether they have a network that you can access, that somebody can help you in your business. All that matters. But the key is developing the relationship that will allow it the opportunity for that person to want to do something for you, because they have developed a rapport that makes them say, you know what, I like him, I like her, I want to do something for them. Let me find a way I can help them.
Excellent, excellent. And that leads up to a question from someone in our audience. Um, of course, follow-up's important, but a lot of people worry about, how do you follow up without being pushy, or is that something that you shouldn't worry about?
I say you shouldn't worry about being pushy. I think follow up is a conversation. If they took the time to talk to you, and they took the time to give you a business card, that means they gave you an invitation to continue a conversation with them. That's the bottom line. If somebody gives you a business card, if somebody gives you their contact information, that's an open door. So you take it. If you don't walk through that door, it's nobody's fault but your own.
Great. But when you walk through the door, um, you know, how should you walk through the door? Should you be trying to sell them something, or what's the right posture? Because sometimes you could be overly aggressive or push too hard when you do that. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think it all depends on the conversation. It all depends on what you're trying to do with them. Again, it goes back to what I said earlier, trying to find an opportunity to help them. Like, for instance, say if you meet somebody and they just started out at a new firm, and whether it's a law firm or an accounting firm or whatever kind of business it is, you can say, you know what, I know somebody who may be looking for a lawyer in their field. Would you mind if I gave them your number, because they have an opportunity that you might be able to fill? So again, goes back to trying to find a way to help them, or refer them, or give them some business, or just find something that provides you with value in the relationship. So again, the law of reciprocity will work. They're going to say, okay, guy's a great guy, connected me with somebody else. He tried to find some business for me. I definitely want to do something and work with this person. So that means they may work with you down the line, they may work with you now, but if anything, they're going to remember you and try to find a way to continue the relationship in the long run.
Excellent, excellent. So yeah, I mean, definitely following up is key, but like you said, um, you have to give before you can get.
For sure. I
So
agree 100%.
yeah, so you have to add value to them. What could be valuable to them? And it doesn't have to be anything major. Um, it could just be, you're from so and so. I go down there to eat dinner. This is my favorite place. Have you ever been there?
Yep.
Um, it's you know, when you're doing business, one of the things I recommend is you're not really trying to sell people stuff. You're really just offering them solutions. So if you have a solution for them, it doesn't even have to be the solution of what you do as business, but a solution for something they might need, want, or desire.
Right. One of the things I used to do, and I do fairly frequently, is that I would make sure that I have a very large network. On LinkedIn, I have more connections than 99.9% of the people on LinkedIn. I have over 20,000 first generation connections. Um, and the reason I did that is because I wanted to be able to be a resource for people. When I was doing my in person networking in the area, I made sure that I was a resource. So, I said, "What kind of business are you looking for?" And they say, "Well, I'm looking for, I may be looking for accountants, or I may be looking for lawyers, or I may be looking for whatever." I said, "You know what? I know people in all these fields. You tell me what you're looking for, and maybe I can make a couple of introductions for you." That's again going back to trying to be a resource, and that was important for me to make sure that I was a resource for people.
Definitely, definitely. So I guess I need to get working because you got more than me. I thought I had a lot. I'm still about 14,000.
Listen, it's not a
Still,
competition, but it is what it is.
it is what it is. But it's more important knowing and having a relationship with them than
Oh, for
anything
sure.
else. Um, and one of the ways I've done that over the years and been able to really build some great relationships is through my events. For more than 10 years, I've been doing breakfast event and
Mhm.
conferences.
I've been to a few of them for sure.
Yeah, so you were actually at my last one, the Masterpreneur Breakfast in November, and actually we have one coming up um, next month in March,
Oh, cool.
March 20th. So if you're around Galloping Hill Golf Course in Kenilworth, New Jersey, we're going to have our Masterpreneur Breakfast, and if you're in business, you want to grow and be more successful, you don't want to miss it. And if you can't come during the day, you're welcome to join us at the pre-breakfast networking event. So we're going
Mhm.
to have that Thursday evening, the 19th, and we're going to have it in Montclair at Sankofa Cafe, which is a great location for networking. So hopefully you
Wow.
can join us at one or both of these in next month. So you got enough time, put it on your calendar. If you're financially minded, you can actually
Mhm.
register today and save, get our early bird registration pricing. So
Uh-oh.
hope to see you there.
Early bird
Definitely.
special. I can definitely vouch that your breakfasts, your events have been amazing. Always good people there. I made some really good connections at the last one. Um, so yeah, it's always good.
Definitely, definitely. So thank you. So yes, I'm really excited about that, and have a huge year coming up. So my conference, my Masterpreneur Conference and Summit is going to be on July 31st. So if you want to put that on your calendars, even if you're not in the New York area, it's a great time to come up, take a vacation, come to the conference, pull it all together. So that's July 31st. So back to the topic. We've got some questions from the audience, so I want to make sure we try and cover them.
Sure.
You know, one of the things is, everybody's different. Some people are more extroverted, some people are more introverted. Um, who tends to be more effective at networking? And, is this something that an approach that introverts can successfully do?
All right. Introvert. Introverts um, have to. If you're an entrepreneur, you have to fight it. The reality is that discomfort is the way to grow. Okay, you're not going to grow being comfortable. The only way to you have to get out of your comfort level and do those things which may seem difficult, but the reality is those are the things you got to do to be able to grow. And you have to fight it. And you have to push yourself to be what you want to be. So if you want to grow your business, you want to meet people, but you feel that you're introverted, then you have to change and you have to force yourself to do those things which are uncomfortable so you can get to where you want to go. I just can't put it any other way. Um, Luckily for me, I wasn't an introvert. I had no problem getting and meeting people and talking to people, but I mean there are things that I felt uncomfortable. But the way I dealt with it is I just it's like exercise. Nobody really wants to start and do it, and it takes a while for you to get it into your rhythm. It's the same thing. You got to get a rhythm of it and fight that the desire to not go out, because if you don't, your business will fail. That's just my belief.
Okay, so very important. And just because you're an introvert doesn't mean you can't be a very successful networker. Um, I'm actually an introvert.
Hmm.
People may not realize that, but I've been able to develop uh, many positive relationships through networking. I was actually called by one friend the Michael Jordan of networking. I was like, man, I don't know that I'm that good, but at the end of the day, one of the most successful things is to follow up, and I'm always very good at following up,
Hmm.
which helps build relationships. And then when you go back and meet people again, they remember you.
Yep.
So, you're building friends, your network is growing. Um, so, very important. Um, and you can be successful as an introvert. You just look at it as, you know, business is about making friends.
For sure.
People do
Sure.
business with people they know, like, and trust.
That is
And
100%.
so just meet one person and have a 5-minute conversation. Start with that as a goal, and then you can always expand from there. So
Yep.
excellent. So now,
Can I tell you
sure.
the story of how I wrote my book, my first
Okay.
networking book? Okay. So, like I said earlier, when I bought this franchise, I would go out to these networking events. And one of the things I recognized that I had to find out where all these events were. So I, every month, the beginning of the month, or really the end of the month, I would look at all the chamber of commerces, all the different business organizations that do networking events, and I would just put them in my calendar and I would make listings of them. And it got to the point where I said, you know what? Because people didn't know about these events. So I created a newsletter. I called it Guys Networking Newsletter. And so I would list all the events in that area every month and push it out in the beginning of the month. And in that, I would also throw out a article or a tip, or at least a write up on good networking tips. So every month, I would put out a newsletter with all the listing of the events and a networking tip that goes out. And I also would put a coupon at the bottom, which will be about my business. So it would, one, add value to people. As I said, I keep saying adding value. So I would send it out to everybody who I've gotten their business card from all the networking events that I had. And so every month I start building more and more people to send that list to. So over a 5-year period, I was probably sending it out to 2 to 3,000 people every month. And the beginning of the month, by the 5th, the newsletter would be out, and two things would happen. One, a lot of people would go to the events and they would say, Guy, man, I got your newsletter. Thanks for getting it out to me. Secondly, the beginning of every month, I would get probably 5 to 10 business calls because of the coupon at the end of my newsletter. And the other thing is that people would start to almost get mad at me if it was out late. Because, like, Guy, it's already the 5th of the month. I haven't seen the newsletter yet because I got to plan my schedule for the next month. that's the kind of thing that I got to do. So what happened with that, after 5 years, I thought, you know what? Let me write a book about networking since I've been writing all these tips about it. And I took all the tips from the 5 years that I had been doing the networking newsletter and took the best ones. And each one of the best tips became a chapter. And I added action items in each chapter, and my book was written.
Excellent, excellent, and definitely, I have a copy of the book, which is really good. Um, and the other thing that it does is it creates touches. Like we talked about in the beginning, you need 7 to 12 touches.
Hmm.
Well, every newsletter is an
Is a touch.
additional touch.
And I'm
So
touching 2,000 people. So, it was valuable.
yes. So, and the coupon and other stuff. And it's surprising who will read your newsletter. Actually what we do here through Small Business Pro University is we do the POW,
Hmm.
which is the plan of the week. And we send it out to 4,000 people every week.
Okay.
And when I'm at events and other stuff, they're like, I read your newsletter every week. So if you're not on our mailing list, you should join our mailing list. And this is what the POW is all about. Will 2025 be your best year ever? My mission is helping 1,000,008 business owners to sell more, maximize profit, and finance growth by 2028. My vision is to create the ultimate business ecosystem for entrepreneurs. Hi, Andrew here with the plan of the week. As everybody knows, failing to plan is planning to fail. And that's why I created the POW. Incorporating the POW into your weekly routine will help you achieve success faster and easier. Each week, we have a different theme in addition to valuable tips from last week's live stream guest expert, online and in-person events that you don't want to miss, the profile of our member of the week, which could be you, and find out about opportunities for grants, contracts, and other resources. Last but not least, test drive our free mini course of the week on Small Business Pro University. Scroll down through the POW for business tips, opportunities, and more event details. I look forward to helping you make 2025 your best year ever. And always remember, the more that you know, the faster your business will grow. So, of course, I need to update it for 2026.
Of course.
Uh, other than that, creating something like that, is powerful for a lot of people. Definitely, it's great touches, and how'd you like the superhero image?
That's pretty cool, man. A lot of people are using these tools to do all kinds of things.
So, those of you who are old enough, you may have watched Batman back in the day,
Hmm.
and that's sort of how Batman used to move, in terms of the POW and and words coming out like that. So that's what the POW is all about. And we're talking about networking. We're covering a lot of good stuff. Definitely appreciate everybody's comments. We got some great comments in there. Definitely appreciate everyone being here. Hey, Jack, what's up? How you doing? Karen, Jewel, Jeff. We got quite a few people. So if I'm missing you, I apologize. Okay, Shirley, Karen, Citrus. Oh, Rashina. Hey, what's up, Rashina? Join us out of Newark. Thanks for joining. And so definitely going through some of the questions in the audience. One of the things that's very helpful in business is referrals.
Hmm.
And definitely talk a little bit about one, how do you ask for them, and how does the referral process tend to work as a business owner?
Well, the thing is, there's two things. One, for business that you do, the number one priority is do the best job and make sure that the client is 100% satisfied. When I owned my IT business, I told customers, listen, I am committed to 100% satisfaction. If you are in any way dissatisfied with the service you get from me, I do not want you to pay me. I don't want your money. I want you to be happy. I will definitely live by that. I stood by that. And in I had the franchise for 11, 12 years. I had one person in 12 years out of thousands of clients that asked for a refund. Everybody else, they were more than happy. And I took care of, I took care of many, many people. So asking for referrals is easy if you're doing a great job. They said, listen, do you know if anybody that might need my services? That's really simple. It's not, you're just saying, can I offer my services to anybody you know? And if you did a great job, they're going to say, oh, I know a couple of people because they want to promote you because you did so much for them.
Excellent. So no, definitely referrals are key. They save a lot of touches because they
Oh,
can
for
get
sure.
you a client faster because you're already coming from a trusted source.
The other thing is there's groups that you can get into, whether it BNI networking groups that you can get to where their whole purpose is for them to give you referrals and you to get referrals in there. There's a group that I was in called Professional Referral Exchange in Chester County. And like I said, there's the BNI, there's LATIP, there's all these organizations which their whole focus is for you to go to events and meet people in different industries so you can provide them referrals and they can provide you referrals.
Definitely, definitely. I participated in one of those groups as well. I'd say, networking groups as well as chambers. It's important for you to check them out first, uh,
Hmm.
see if they're the right type of people and the right type of focus for your business and where you want to go. But they can definitely help you move your business further and faster. Hey,
Yep.
what's Marcella? How you doing tonight? Thanks for joining. Um, Unfortunately, an hour's just not long enough to talk. We're just getting started, but you've already shared a lot of valuable insights. And what I didn't mention is that Small Biz Pro University is actually publishing Guy's next book, and it's going to be coming out in towards the end of February. So definitely check in. We'll be sharing more information about it, but very excited to do that.
Oh
But
yeah.
before we close out, what I'd like to do is I always ask my guests to share three key takeaways because it's important to to narrow it down. Most people can't remember more than three things, and we covered so much valuable um, topics that just giving people something that they can bite size so they can use to focus on it tomorrow would be great. So if you could do that, I'd appreciate it. And I'm just going to take a minute to share a video about financial management services we offer, because that is an area where a lot of business owners need help and may not even realize they need help. Every great business owner needs an expert financial management team. As your business grows, you're going to need more comprehensive financial expertise to help you with these activities. Financing growth, managing cash flow, maximizing profitability, strategic planning and budgeting, accurate, timely information for decision making, determining the appropriate staffing and inventory levels, and preparation for and analysis of potential opportunities. At this stage, you may not have the budget to hire multiple financial professionals from different firms. However, we can provide an outsourced team with over 100 years of experience in CFO, controller, accounting, tax, and bookkeeping to provide the expertise you need when needed. We will help you with your financial needs from A to Z. Whether you need bookkeeping, we will organize and enter your financial information. Accounting, we will provide accurate, timely financial reporting with analysis of key information and trends. Taxes, we will help you with tax preparation, reporting, and submission. Or CFO services, business strategy, financial projections, KPIs, or financing. We've got you covered from A to Z. Use the link below to schedule a complimentary discovery session. You have nothing to lose. Use the link below to explore how we can help. All right, excellent. So back here talking small business with Guy Dunn. Tonight's topic is contacts plus opportunity equals success. And we're talking about networking for business with Guy Dunn. So Guy, before we close things out, what are the 3 key things that people should take away from our conversation this evening?
Okay, 3 key things. 1, as I said earlier, you have to get comfortable being uncomfortable, learn how to talk to people, learn how to spark a conversation. And actually, it is a learned thing you can do. You might, learn how to chit chat, learn how to just, talk to somebody in the elevator. My wife gets mad at me because I'll talk to anybody at any place and anywhere. And it's just a gift for me, but for many it's not. So get out of your own way and try that. Secondly, when you meet people, be present and bring value. So listen to them and try to figure out how you can help them and try to figure out ways to do something for them. Like my newsletter was my bringing value to people. So maybe that's it. You create a newsletter that has information that can be valuable for people to know. That's another thing. And then last, just try to find ways to connect with more people and being in places where you can connect with more people for your business. Every person is an opportunity for a relationship, and you have to make sure that you spend that time developing those relationships. Spend the time to meet people so you can take advantage of that opportunity.
Excellent, excellent. So you're saying get comfortable being uncomfortable, and that's really what entrepreneurship's all about. If you're not in uncomfortable situations, you're really not doing enough as an entrepreneur. One gentleman said that you're not an entrepreneur until you've gotten sued. I don't want you to get sued and go that far, but you do want to push the envelope and continue to develop and move forward.
I haven't been sued yet, so I guess I'm still working.
Me neither. I guess we've been too conservative. We got to be, but definitely, second, being present and bringing value, and being present doesn't necessarily have to mean talking. Dale Carnegie had a great passage in his classic book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, where he talked about how he was in a conversation with someone, but the other person talked 90% of the time. But after the event, the guy was like, man, you were a great conversationalist. So sometimes you can talk without talking, and it speaks louder. So definitely being present with that and bringing value. And, you need to be ever expanding your network. You said connect with more people. So looking at how to connect with the right people, where you can connect with them. So it's a proactive thing. It's a plan, and it's a way to make things happen. So
I say that networking is a contact sport.
There you go. So as I mentioned, Guy's next book is going to be published by Small Business Pro University. Look for it to be out by the end of February. And also, Guy, you created a technology platform for networking. Take a minute to share about that before we close out.
Very good. So in my latest networking book, Networking for Business 2025, in my book, I have action items, and those action items are things like, you know, improve your LinkedIn profile, create a headline that makes sense, all these different things that you can do, follow up within 24 hours, connect with people and within 3 to 6 months when you first met them, all these different things. So I created a platform called Trust Looper. It's at trustlooper.com. And the goal of that is to automate using AI your networking, um, the networking activities, so you don't forget to follow up, because the system will follow up for you. It has the ability to follow up for you, connects with your email, connects with your calendar, connects with your CRM. It allows you to create newsletters. It allows you to create polls and surveys, connects with your social media, connects with your LinkedIn, and do those things that will provide the opportunity for you to take advantage of every relationship that you have.
Excellent. Excellent. So no, I'm definitely excited about the new platform as well. You got the link right there, and definitely networking can make a huge difference for you and your business. And we had a great conversation with Guy about how to do that successfully. Look out for his book. Check out the platform, and as always, Guy, likes to network, likes to meet people. Feel free to reach out to him on
Yeah,
LinkedIn
definitely.
or wherever else. So
Link to me in LinkedIn. I will connect with you, and let's get connected. Let's do some networking.
excellent, excellent. So thank you so much, Guy. It's been great having you on. Appreciate you sharing your perspective and knowledge, and definitely from the comments and questions of the audience. Obviously, they valued it as well. So thanks again.
No problem. Listen, I appreciate it, and I enjoyed your conversation. Actually, Andrew did my podcast, and I have a podcast called Network to Net Worth. So you can go on YouTube and get that, and see my interview of Andrew a couple weeks back.
Okay, excellent, excellent. So definitely, definitely. So hang on, Guy. Let me just close things out, and we'll go from there.
Sure.
Okay, excellent. Well, first, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Thank you so much for your questions and comments. Of course, subscribe if you haven't already, and as always, we have great guests like Guy sharing their insights. We're going to do something a little bit different these next few weeks, and really creating a series around being able to grow your business from startup to scaling. We had a preliminary show a few weeks back with Gene Bohinski, where he talked about how over 2 years he basically built his business from 0 to over 100 employees. And 1 hour just really wasn't enough time. It was really enough time to just talk about the beginning. So what we're going to do is, as I created the Masterpreneur framework, and it outlines, basically the path, the 5 steps that you have to take to go from startup to scaling. And not only that, but the evolution, how you have to evolve as a business owner to go from startup to scaling. So what we're going to do is, the first show we focused on working on the concept of your business to working in your business. Next week, we're going to talk about going from working in your business to working on your business. And that's one of the most challenging steps a business owner can make. And most business owners never, ever do that successfully. They get stuck between step 1, step 2, and step 3. So hopefully you can join us. Be great to have you with us. Bring your questions, and it should be a great learning experience for you as well. So definitely, again, I appreciate you joining us. Appreciate our guest, Guy. We had a great show, and until next week.
Thank you for listening to Leadership Live at 8:05, Talking Small Business. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and to the podcast on your favorite podcast platform. Leadership Live is one of the many valuable resources provided through the Small Business Pro University, empowering business owners to learn, profit, and grow. Find out more at sbpro.u.com.